There is a powerful, yet often unspoken truth in medicine that seniors and their families rarely hear from their doctors. Every year, millions of adults over 70 dutifully line up for routine health checkups, believing they are taking the necessary steps to stay safe. But what if I told you that some of those routine tests, the ones your doctor says you absolutely need, could actually be the very things that push you closer to unnecessary surgery, life-altering complications, or even cancer? New scientific studies are revealing a sobering reality. Up to 37% of medical tests performed on seniors lead to unnecessary follow-up treatments, complications, or lifelong side effects. And the most shocking part? 99% of people over 70 have no idea they are being over-tested. Consider this. One of the checkups on our list, the number one slot, is estimated to cause 5% of all cancer cases in the United States, a risk level comparable to daily alcohol consumption. This isn't the kind of information you find on a clinic billboard, but the truth is buried deep within the scientific literature. Today, we are uncovering it all. I'm presenting the 5 health checkups you should reconsider after age 70, and the terrifying science-backed truth about the potential harm they can cause. You won't believe what made it to number 2. Before we begin, tell us in the comments below, what is your age, where are you watching from, and have you ever regretted a test or procedure? Do you believe seniors are tested too much? We're reading and replying to every single comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's discuss the first test and why it looks harmless but could quietly diminish your quality of life. 5. Bone density, DEXA. Scan, the fear generator. The bone density scan, or DEXA scan, seems like a sensible precaution, a quick, non-invasive check to assess fracture risk. But past the age of 70, this scan often creates more fear and unnecessary intervention than actual benefit. The problem: bone loss, osteopenia, or osteoporosis, is a natural part of aging. In older adults, especially women, the scan results almost always come back showing low density, even when the person is not at high risk for a major break. This numerical finding often pushes seniors into taking medications like bisphosphonates, e.g., alendronate, which, while intended to strengthen bones, come with rare but serious side effects like jaw necrosis, death of the jawbone, and severe esophageal irritation. The data. Studies show that treating mild bone loss in people over 70 with medication has little impact on actual fracture rates. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that bisphosphonates reduced fracture risk by only 0.3% after 5 years in women over 70. This minimal benefit often does not justify the higher likelihood of suffering medication side effects, including digestive issues or even brittle bones that break in unusual ways. The safer alternative. For people over 70 who are not frequently falling or breaking bones, the better option is lifestyle optimization. A 2022 Osteoporosis International study showed that focused strength training, balance exercises, proper nutrition, calcium-rich foods, and treating vitamin D deficiency can reduce fractures by over 20%. Don't let a number on a screen scare you into treatment you may not need. Focus on building functional strength and balance. 4. Brain MRI for mild memory loss. When seniors experience increasing forgetfulness, misplacing keys, forgetting names, the natural fear of dementia often leads doctors to order a brain MRI, a detailed scan of the brain structure. The uncomfortable truth. For mild cognitive complaints, MRIs rarely provide a helpful answer. Most scans in people over 70 simply show age-related changes, slight brain shrinkage or benign white matter spots that are normal in older adults. The cascade of harm. Once those spots are seen, they trigger a cascade of fear, further expensive tests, and sometimes even invasive procedures that may not improve memory and can actually worsen anxiety and quality of life. A 2021 review in Neurology Today of over 3,000 MRIs in patients, 70-85, with mild memory complaints found that 86% showed some abnormality, but only 3% were linked to an actual treatable condition. That means 90% of patients were put through the emotional toll of hearing there's something wrong when the finding was essentially age-appropriate. Worse, nearly 12% were sent for invasive procedures like spinal taps or exploratory biopsies based on vague results. The better first step, unless there are severe neurological red flags, seizures, sudden personality change, rapid functional decline, an MRI is rarely helpful for mild memory loss. The safer, cheaper, and more effective first step is a cognitive screening test, which is a simple paper-based exam that reliably evaluates memory, attention, and problem-solving, avoiding the risk of unnecessary panic. 3. Cardiac stress test. The cardiac stress test, on a treadmill or via medication, is one of the most common tests given to seniors complaining of mild fatigue or chest tightness. It's intended to spot blocked arteries, but after 70, it is prone to false alarms and unnecessary procedures. The problem of accuracy. In adults over 70, the false positive rate for stress tests, where the test indicates a problem when the heart is fine, can be as high as 40%. This often leads to the next step: invasive follow-up tests like angiograms and potentially unnecessary procedures like stent placement or bypass surgery. The data on intervention. A major 2017 study in JAMA Cardiology found that more than half of all stents placed after stress test referrals were done in patients who had no real symptoms or clinical benefit. These patients saw no improvement in survival or quality of life after the procedure, but did suffer higher rates of bleeding, kidney injury from the contrast dyes, and prolonged hospital stays. The safer alternatives. If you're over 70 and not experiencing classic severe cardiac symptoms, chest pain during activity, significant shortness of breath on exertion, a stress test may cause more harm than good. Simpler, safer, and less likely to trigger a procedure you don't need are a resting EKG, checking heart rhythm, a coronary calcium scan, a low radiation test that accurately shows if dangerous plaque is building up. 2. Routine colonoscopy. This one is a surprise for many, but a routine colonoscopy, an examination of the colon with a long camera, is not always recommended after age 70, and is rarely wise after 75 unless there are specific concerning symptoms. The increased risks. The risks associated with colonoscopy increase with age. Harsh prep. Strong laxatives can cause dehydration, dizziness, or kidney issues. Sedation. Risk. Sedation poses an added risk to brain function in older adults. Procedure complications. The test itself can cause complications like bleeding, tearing, perforation, or heart rhythm disturbances during sedation. A 2019 study in JAMA Internal Medicine followed over 1.3 million Medicare patients aged 70 and older. They found that for every 1,000 colonoscopies done in patients over 75, only 2 lives were saved, but over 20 people experienced serious complications. That's a 10.1 risk-to-benefit ratio. Furthermore, polyps found in older adults are often small and slow-growing, and removing them can sometimes do more harm than leaving them alone. The U.S. Task Force recommendation. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force currently recommends stopping routine colon cancer screening at age 75 for most people. The safer option. For those in excellent health, a simple, non-invasive stool-based test like the FFIT test, fecal immunochemical test, is often a safer option. It requires no prep, no sedation, and still catches the majority of concerning cases. 1. Annual full-body CT scans. The most overused, most dangerous, and most harmful screening test for asymptomatic seniors is the annual full-body CT scan, often marketed as a preventive service at private clinics. The shocking radiation risk. These scans expose your body to an extremely high dose of ionizing radiation. Each scan delivers 10 to 20 millisieverts of radiation, which is equivalent to about 500 chest X-rays. A 2023 modeling study in JAMA Internal Medicine suggests that the increased use of CT scans across the U.S. may now be responsible for up to 5% of all cancers, placing them on par with chronic heavy alcohol consumption as a cancer-causing factor. The problem of incidentalomas. The scan will inevitably detect harmless nodules, calcifications, or cysts that are normal parts of aging. The moment these incidentalomas are seen, a red flag goes up, triggering unnecessary and risky procedures, more scans, PET scans, biopsies, and even surgery. The lack of benefit. Experts, including the American College of Radiology, are clear. There is zero evidence that full-body CT scans without specific symptoms save lives. The potential for harm from radiation and the subsequent cascade of unnecessary procedures far outweighs the unproven benefit. The smarter approach. Listen to your body. If you feel well, maintain regular checkups with your primary doctor and only consent to targeted imaging when specific symptoms, like unexplained weight loss or visible swelling, clearly indicate it. Scanning the whole body with no focus is like searching for treasure with a landmine detector. The damage could be worse than what you were trying to avoid. Your takeaway. Always ask, what next? Modern medicine is powerful, but when it comes to screening seniors, sometimes less is truly more. These 5 checkups, while seemingly helpful, carry specific and increasing risks after age 70. The most important question you can ask your doctor is, what happens next if this test finds something, and are the risks of that follow-up procedure higher than the potential benefit? If the answer is unclear, or if the risks are high for something that may be a natural part of aging, it is time to pause. Real prevention starts with lifestyle. Stay active, eat well, sleep deeply, and choose your checkups wisely. Have you or someone you love ever faced complications from a medical test or treatment that turned out to be unnecessary? What happened? Share your experiences in the comments below.